Hey, I'm back. This is sort of a follow-up to my last video about 10 minutes ago, and I probably got about 10 minutes left on this one. It's sort of, as you can imagine, pretty impossible to share all the data that I'm aware of that's connected to all the other data, right? It would take forever to put it all together and explain it in one sentence, one paragraph, one book, one library, actually. But I'm reminded by, for example, when we think of computers and we think of cell phones and what have you, and I think of, for example, in a previous video I mentioned how we measure who we are in a mirror, if you will, which is how we use our energy. So, for example, I locked myself in a room for 16, 20 hours a day for 4 years in a motel room, living on Social Security so I could do research. And I was collecting data like crazy, looking at the health of the planet. Now, even though as a child, for example, I'm measuring and vectoring energies to past, present, future timelines, if you will, which is sort of a frequency distribution map of where we're at in terms of not just the magnetic shield of the planet and the health of the biosphere, but how many beings on this planet measuring the speed of the learning, meaning the speed of the transmission of the data or the information they're aware of that comes from the field, the unified field of all information that we have access to, that allows us to raise our state of awareness to know how we're being held captive to run at a slower speed. And this is where we get into living in the heart and living in now-time moments. So I can live in a now-time moment and use a computer, but when I'm using a computer to crank out data in which I share that data for the benefit of everybody, which is for what purpose? The reason why we use our energy, which is in love and service to others. Because if others benefit by the things that we do with our energy, even if we use a computer, it's meant for the benefit of everybody, thereby I automatically benefit by it because we're all part of the same fabric of the same unified field in which we have access to information that represents the past, present, and future simultaneously. All the information of what we need to know and how to do what we do is all internal. It's all inner. The external world is simply the projection, and that which is external to us communicates to us. But who we are is our inner self. And the DNA that I'm running is connected to Source. So I know that I have infinite light, which is infinite energy, in which my living spirit gives love forever. So that allows me to be in a now-time moment forever. Okay? So the only time that I go into the past is remembering events that were beautiful to experience, but you know how this works. And when you know how this works, to manage, as I mentioned before, your heart's accelerator. That's really what it is. It's a light wheel. It's a vortex. It's magnetic. That's your power plant. So it allows you, when you've sort of mastered by using your heart, the magnificence of it just cannot be understated, because it allows us to access information that is important to us because of how much we value what love is, to restore the light wherever it's been lost. Okay, which essentially means raising the light on the planet so that everybody's state of awareness is higher and we're not held captive to something that is slower in speed, so we're living in now time. And when people are living in now time, you're living in a state of love and joy, and you're able to experience whatever you want to experience next with that kind of energy through your heart. That's the benefit of why we have a heart. That's the function of a heart. It's to provide us the biggest power plant to free ourselves from captivity of our conscious creative mind. So I'll leave you with that for the night. Have a great night. Bye now.